Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Lost Aqualand, and welcome back to the wonderful project, which is usually a franchise mode, but today it's going to be a speed build. Why and what we do? Well, you're gonna find out in the video, so let's get started. In today's video, we are going to build a little aquarium. I'm going to call it the Happy Reef Aquarium, but before we go there, I'm going to talk you through a couple of things I've been doing in this speed build, and honestly, I've been on a roll. That has been so much fun, and I needed to stop myself from doing stuff in here, because I just went nuts at some point. I'm having a little real-time part at the end, in which I'm going to explain what we did and what we will do next. But first of all, I'm doing some little fixes here and there, just putting the well-needed education stuff here and there, and just made sure that I also employed some more people, and just kind of the boring stuff that we need to do every now and then. And you can see I'm just putting education bits every now and then everywhere. Now the reason why I'm doing this is obviously looking ahead of the next 1.10 update, in which we are getting a couple of new behaviors for the guest, which are related to the happiness rating. And this is also the reason why I'm focusing on that, because the overall happiness rating is okay in this park, but we have certainly some issues here and there, and so this is why I'm putting a lot more stuff in now. This is also a lot easier to do that in a speed build, because it's quite nasty to put them everywhere. You can see I'm just also recoloring the stuff, so it's looking a little bit better, and I just kind of fell in love with this project so much that I want to have these things in a kind of a nice way, putting all these kind of things down that I usually forget about. It's in a normal real-time part, honestly, you do feel kind of rushed. It would be a lie to say so, to say different, because you don't want to make the video like 50 minutes long, which you technically would need for a decent habitat with all the things available that you need to put there as well, but it just doesn't fill the point. That's for once really heavy on my time schedule, and the other thing is that it just doesn't work in YouTube ways. A 50-minute video until you get to a point is just not working. I mean, I do see the view time of people, and it usually is between 5 to 7 minutes on these videos, and they are like 30-35 minutes long, which on its own is already not good in YouTube relations. But I love these videos too much to skip them, because I do it for a passion and not because of view time or whatever. But imagine making that like a 50-minute video. People wouldn't necessarily watch longer. A couple of you guys would, like the core people, would look into the whole video, and I do see that. I see that the average is kind of made up from people who watch like 2 or 3 minutes because they skip through the video, and the other people watch it entirely, and then it kind of forms this kind of average. And so there is no real point in doing everything in detail. But I love this park so much that I wanted to put in the effort to do some of the details, and you can see exactly that over here. I'm putting some of the things in that were desperately needed, some little things to be fixed, and just made sure that the underground viewing of the sea lion we did last time is good. And then we went on to put the aquarium in, and I love the spot I chose for that, because this spot over here was really something that annoyed me all the time. It just kind of, there is no real transition into the Arctic area, and this is something we will also do with this aquarium, and I think the aquarium also is a kind of nice transition into it. Maybe I'm able even to do some deep sea fish or whatever in there as kind of a fake billboard. This is obviously going to be fake billboard paired with these exhibits, so that people might go in, and we will also use the axolotl from the new update as well, from the DLC. And you can see I didn't use one of the pieces that you guys provided, but I used the color code, because I love the color code so much on that blueprint, that I just kind of went in and used exactly that to create my aquarium, and it looks really cool. It really looks at the end really exactly the way that I imagined it to be looking. It kind of has this 90s vibe, but it looks to be made modern. It looks to be 90s, intentional 90s vibe, but made way later as kind of a little thing that we put in this Lost Aqualand to kind of still build upon the style of the destroyed park, but just made this into something new and nice and shiny, and I'm going to show you in the real-time part at the end what I mean by that. But it really looked cool, and yeah. Also, many thanks for all of your feedback on two videos in particular. So the first one being yesterday's video. I'm still completely and utterly confused in a very positive way how many people have commented and watched this video. It just completely blew me off the chart. Now, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video about the fact that I think we have a bright future of Planet Zoo ahead, and that we don't get birds at this point is not really an issue. If you want to see my full point, you have to watch the video. Don't want to waste the time on here. But man, you guys had so many really good comments. I'm gonna address in a different video, but thank you so much, because all of these comments and all of this stuff really helps me out. And you can see this video just goes places in YouTube terms, and that's the weird thing sometimes. It was just a little analysis video, 6-7 minutes, and you guys went nuts on that, and I love it, and I'm very thankful for your reaction. The other one being, and this is on one of the latest speed builds, I think it was the platypus, in which I told you guys that I have went back and reduced the speed of my speed builds dramatically. I nearly halved it, and so it just kind of is a lot better for me, because I did two things. The first thing is I cut out half of the stuff I do, which I usually left in the video. And there were people who said they want to see that, like mostly the struggle or certain things that don't work from the beginning, or sometimes it's even like the boring stuff, you know, setting up a habitat and doing all the little detailed things, like, you know, making the passwork work and making the terrain go very much smooth in and stuff. This stuff is something I'm going to completely ignore right now, and I'm going to cut out, which is good, because I think it just kind of takes away the pressure for me to make it in a nice way and not too long, so I can now focus on making these nasty things without even recording. That it really helps me out in being a lot more relaxed on doing that. And the other thing is, it just makes the whole video a lot more enjoyable to watch, I guess. We will also have like a little experiment very soon, in which I'm going to build only from the Explore Cam mode. I tested that already, and it is relatively enjoyable to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a speed build, but since the camera is fixed, it just kind of really looks a lot more smooth than what you can see else. But anyways, this is not what I wanted to talk about the whole time. There's one more topic I quickly want to bring in. During this build, I listened to a podcast which is called 1.5 degrees. In German, it's 1,5 Grad, which is from a Fridays for Future activist, one of the most well-known ones in Germany. And this girl had Sebastian Vettel, the F1 driver, as a guest earlier this year. I never had the time to listen to that podcast. It's not like in particular the most amazing podcast, because the news value in that isn't really the greatest. They basically talk about the fact that, you know, Vettel being a Formula 1 driver and being also very vocal as a climate activist is kind of a hypocritism in that sense, that he obviously can't really naturally support the fact that we need to step away from cars, and especially ICE cars and stuff. But this is a brilliant topic for me to really quickly have a little take on. I'm so tired of people saying that only because someone is doing A, he can't be doing B. This is such an ancient and from, in my opinion, kind of a old point of view. I mean, hell, when he started driving as a racing driver, he was whatever, 6 or 7 years old. It's his passion. But the reason he's using this insane popularity to make people aware of the stuff we need to do makes up for that fact. And obviously, if he's going to be, he doesn't do it for the money. So he could just step out of the car and say, like, fuck this shit. But then he told a story, and this for me was the one I wanted to tell. That was the one cool bit in here. He told a story that he's reaching out to people from F1 management with his idea to make sure that environmental effects are less and so on. And he said that there is this parade at the beginning of the race, and then there is always like an aircraft passing over the start-finish straight. And he asked the pilot of that airplane that they only, like, how long are they in the air to do that? And he said, you're just like starting, make a flyby, and then you go back. And he's like, no, we are like 2.5 hours in the air. And we're just waiting for the signal in case there is a delay or something with the start, so that they always are in time with their flyby. And then he just, Vettel just calculated how much energy, like how much fuel is wasted. And fun fact, they are wasting more fuel on that airplane than the entire race with all 22 cars or 20 cars is consuming. And so they now stop this, down to Vettel's idea. They will not do that anymore, and which saves already like half of the races in a way, which is ridiculous, and I think this is a very good thing to consider. But now this is it already with the speed build. I'm gonna talk you through this thing in real-time part. This is always better in the real-time part because you can see more things, and I really hope you like the design of this little aquarium. I certainly do dig it a lot. So let's jump over and have a look how that looks in the game actually. Alright, so we are in a real-time part, and as you can see, we are standing here right in front of that lovely little aquarium. And again, I dig that style. There are a couple of little details missing quite yet, and also it's gonna look a lot better once this entire area here with the stuff thing is done, because that looks like garbage at this point. But this is the little aquarium, and I'm going to show you something right now. So first of all, we are going to go through it. We're starting on the one side that isn't just quite done, but I think it's also very nice. This is like a backstage access, and it really looks like a backstage access. We're gonna make like an implied door over here, so that should look good. And then over here you go into the aquarium. A couple of things will be implemented here, and then you can see on the left hand side you've got the first little aquarium over here. I'm not even sure if you can see anything because they might actually be behind there. I'm gonna put more of the terrapins and stuff in so that always there is one in the front here as well. I'm gonna change the lighting a little bit, and obviously the roof isn't just fully done. All these kind of little bits I will do from the inside. And then over here you can see there is another one. Again, you can't see any of the animals in there. The reflections are still in here. They will be gone as soon as we have done the roof. A couple of screens are not just yet used, but you can see one thing over here, and I love that in particular. So this over here is one of the screens I use, and you can see there are a couple of fishies swimming around. But what I will do now is I'm going to do what I did over here. I'm using the wonderful game of the Aquarium Simulator, and I'm going to film from there. So I'm going to do some custom aquariums, and I'm going to do that because honestly it looks fantastic. Look how much more realistic and crisp that looks. I really do think that looks a lot better than the old way I had done it, because it just also is a game, and so you have so much more depth in the video than if you do some downloaded video footage. Sometimes there's even a reflection from the actual aquarium in here. The lighting is not always the perfect one, and with the simulator it just kind of really looks cool, and we can basically do whatever we want. I can even make the background the same color as here, and it really looks kind of cool because you also have like this upper layer where the water would be. You can see them swimming around. We can use certain species and stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, so this is then how we did this. What are you looking at? I'm confused. What are you guys looking at? There's not even education board or anything in here. They might... What? Okay, not sure what they're doing exactly there. Look at them, they're all standing over. I really do hope they stop doing that because that's just ridiculous. Anyhows, I think this is all I wanted to talk about, because now you can definitely tell that we are going strongly forward. There are a couple of things I need to fix. We still have... Why do we have protesters in here? Oh, well, otters. I'm gonna take care of that soon, and also the sea lions. I'm gonna take care... Why are the sea lions, by the way? What's the deal with you guys? Let me just check. Social space. Is there too many animals in your group? They have no deep... Oh, it's the same bug as always. Okay, so they can't do deep diving for whatever reason, even though they do deep dive. Yeah, the game is just ridiculous at some. I really hope they have that fixed with the new update. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed today's speed build with this very quick look. I think the aquarium integrates wonderfully over here. And if you have some tips what we should do next, please let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, have a good day. I'll talk to you in the next one. Stay safe and goodbye.